Hi, my name's Chris, and I decided to speak about my depression and how it's affected me and basically my life in the last 20 years. So, I've suffered with depression and anxiety for 20 years now, and in the past haven't really been able to make the connection between my depression and the way I acted, the way I would deal with situations, and that went from work to social life, friends, family. And it's only really within the last year or so that I've made the connection between the way I am or was and my depression, mental health. So what I want to talk about really is the change that I've decided to make. It kind of came along accidentally. It wasn't something that I specifically planned or thought was going to happen. It was something I'd done, and without realising, making that small change had quite a big impact on how I felt with depression, anxiety, my general well-being, and my health in general. So just after Christmas, I decided to go on a diet. Now, I'd been on a diet last year and managed to lose 7 stone. And I lost that in quite a rapid space of time, about 4 or 5 months. And it was a specific diet that I went on, which was the Ducon diet, and purely went on it just to lose weight. That was it. Mission accomplished, lost weight. Kind of felt a bit better about myself. You know, I was fitting into smaller clothes. I felt generally more comfortable when I went out. So that's gonna, have a bit of a positive effect, which I suppose made me think that I was getting a bit better. Now, I lost the weight. I then decided that I'd start introducing a few more foods into my diet. So the Ducon diet is basically 0 carbs or very low amount of carbs. You have an intensive period at the beginning, which is 3 to 4 days of just pure protein, no sugar, no fat. It's a detox stage basically, and once you get through that, you then alternate between protein one day, protein veg the next day. When you've then hit your ideal weight, you then can introduce small amounts of other foods. Anyway, I'd done that, kind of felt a bit better, and then I suppose it was 7 or 8 months ago, my depression came back and anxiety came back worse than ever. I mean, it was that bad. I couldn't get out of bed. My heart was racing. It was just unbearable. But I still worked through it. And the way I coped with it was to have a drink, beer. Now, I was always a big drinker. Ever since I left school, drunk heavily, and I suppose that was the way that I dealt with my depression and anxiety. It wasn't really until 7 or 8 months ago that it got that bad. It stopped me from everything really. Now, just before Christmas, I went home. When I say home, I went to stay with my mum. Had a nice Christmas. Wasn't looking forward to coming back home to my own house, but I did, and within maybe 3 days of being back home, I decided to go back on my diet. Now, this time round, it was very different. I stopped eating carbs, and almost within 2-3 days, I started to feel not so tired, not so lethargic. My mind was a lot clearer, and this was literally 3 days after cutting out the carbs. And it made me think about the connection between carbs and depression. Now, I have read about it before, but it's there's so much out there that you kind of think, well, is it just another one of those things that people are saying makes you feel better, and so it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. Anyway, so I'm about let me think, just over a week into it, and I decided that I would set up a YouTube channel and speak about my depression, how it's affected me over the last 20 years, but not also the doom and gloom of depression and anxiety, but how I feel now that I've cut out carbs, and also do some cooking and show you some recipes and some meals that I will cook and put it on YouTube so you can follow it. I am not 100% up to date on how it all works yet, so things like recipes, as time goes on, I will hopefully know more, be able to put more things up on there. But this is just really an introduction. I'm really nervous, by the way. You could probably hear it a bit in my voice, but it's an introduction of me and my depression, and as weeks go on, you will hopefully see a change in me, which will show you, a carb-free diet can. When I say a carb-free diet, there are certain amount of carbs that I have, but not. It's very little amounts. yeah, so I'll be cooking some food and put them on YouTube. Now, if you want to ask me some questions, brilliant, that's great. I'll definitely answer them. But what I would say is I'm actually on a diet. I want to lose weight. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for me, really, because the diet that I'm on, I lose weight, but it also makes me feel mentally better because it's a carb-free diet. There's nothing to say that if you wanted to do the same and you don't need to lose weight, then maybe you could add a few more ingredients into your dishes, which I will speak about. At the moment, I'm just on the protein stage. Some of my food is, ham and boiled eggs, and there's no point in me cooking that. I'm pretty sure most people know how to boil an egg. So when I hit the protein and veg stage, I will be cooking some really, really tasty food, and also showing you some items that are carb free. There's some products on the market at the moment which are really good, and hopefully it will be meals that aren't boring, tasteless. I mean, as you can see, my kitchen behind me, I've got loads of spices and herbs, and I cook a lot with spices, herbs, garlic, lemon juice, things like that, and it really gives the food a big flavour. So it's not food that you're going to eat and afterwards be depressed because you didn't enjoy your meal. So I think for my introduction, this is probably about as much as I'm going to say. I start my veg, meat and veg, so protein and veg, I start on Friday. So potentially I might put another one up on Friday, but this is something that is going to be ongoing. And you can see the effects of how my diet, the benefits it will have on me, and hopefully by you seeing the benefits it has for me, possibly it's something you might want to choose to do, and hopefully it will benefit you as well. So I think that's it for now, and I will hopefully put another video up on Friday. Okay, cheers, bye.